Hashtag VerseCV
It's week 165.
at Morning Brew. All right, and put it on the screen briefly. And number three.
57% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. With inflation at a 40-year high, making ends meet is getting tough at all levels. Even the top earners are stretched thin. 30% of people making $250,000 or more are living paycheck to paycheck. With grocery and gas prices rising every month, expenses are going up, and setting aside money has become harder and harder for many families to do. Even the cost of a 4th of July cookout is expected to be 17% higher this year. So if you're thinking about fresh butcher counter burgers, maybe think about some frozen Bubba burgers. The problem with families struggling to afford their day-to-day lifestyle is that they are carrying high monthly credit card balances. Credit card balances have risen year over year, reaching $841 billion in the first 3 months of 2022. Seeing those credit card reports come in is part of what made Lending Club discover that 57% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
So it probably connects in some way, at least, to the Great Resignation, as far as people's financial struggle, possibly statistically, but a lot of times people, particularly with the struggle of this pandemic, not even people just quitting their jobs, but just struggling in general, some people were probably like, I can do bad all by myself, you know? And that could encourage people to enter entrepreneurship, which is a beautiful thing. Again, that story though about the top earners, the top 5%, i.e., 250,000 or more, struggling in large numbers, 30%, one in every three. It's like, wow, that reminded me of a story that I've read about a single mom who was making $300,000 a year, and she was struggling with her finances. And it's like, that's so interesting because a lot of times people, it comes down to keeping up with the Joneses, and that's kind of a struggle for people to do. And I remember speaking with Gail some time ago about getting a raise or something and needing to up my apartment game or whatever. And she's like, no, no, no. Just because you make more money doesn't mean you have to spend more money. So I'm like, oh, I know that's right. And I'm very much a spend thrift at this point. So that Gail is truly wise beyond her years. And yeah, I'll say credit cards can be evil, in my honest opinion. And people are in debt and struggling with them. That's just, yeah, it's unfortunate that we're at that place. We shouldn't be, but unfortunately, yeah, that's what it is often now. Anyway, next will be ChrisSEE Marie went first. Last topic, Kevin.
Yeah, I will say is first, I guess finances. The issue, and this is a proven fact. Um, pay pay rates have not kept up with inflation since the 70s. Um, they well, they were decent in the 80s, somewhat manageable in the 90s, but in the 2000s, I don't think it's realistic anymore. And I say that because really when I was 16, and this meant in the 90s, I was able with a summer job was able to save up money to buy my first car myself in cash. Can't do that no more. And that's my opinion.
All right, ChrisSEE Marie.
I agree with you, Kevin. It's just not realistic. It's not realistic. Um, and I also agree with you, Aaron, as far as that whole keeping up with the Joneses thing. You know, it's important to be cost conservative, and I learned that when I became a single mother. Being cost conservative and budgeting, but it's still very difficult with all kinds of bills. So if you don't create it, like, so nobody teaches you about things like that, how to budget and you know um, how to invest and things like that. They don't teach you about finances, where you live, or they don't. You don't become well versed in it yourself. It can be a struggle anyway. And then adding um, other responsibility on top of it, your rent or mortgage or your any type of insurance that's supposed to be required for whatever, your car note, all that stuff. And today, like, okay, so for example, my little Volkswagen Jetta takes a 24 takes a diesel fuel, which is over $6 a gallon. 620 is the cheap, like 619 is the cheapest. Um, Bottom line, and I've said this before, you can't live a caviar lifestyle with hamburger money, and that's just the way the economy is going, um, with overinflation. So you know, if people who are making $300,000 are struggling, imagine what people who are impoverished are going through. It's just it's just impossible to live comfortably. But simplicity is key. Gail's right about that. You don't really need a whole lot. You just need what you need. You know, um, a luxury is just that. If you can't afford it, then don't go for that. Go for the economy, the economic choice, if that's what it is. Because otherwise, you won't be able to live within those means if you're living beyond your means. And that's what's in my mind after hearing that.